Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Khalid and I make YouTube videos. Yeah? Was that exactly right? Yeah, okay, good. So I work with Sheen and she's part of the team here. So Sheen is the best person. She's the best at everything. So if you had a line of people who were the best people and she was in that line, she would be the best of all those best people. She's smart. She has astute, precision-like decision-making that elevates everyone that not only works alongside her, but anyone that's within her presence becomes better. So if she's in a cafe and there's other people randomly in that cafe, they leave feeling better just because they were in her vicinity. She's a superhuman. She works so hard. She actually doesn't stop working. I get emails from her at like 4 a.m. I don't know why. I think she schedules them maybe, so it makes it look like she's working at that time, because they do that, Google, right? But anyway, I'm honored to be working alongside Sheen. We have big dreams for what we're trying to do here. Elevate our YouTube game, elevate our content creation game, elevate what we do as an organization and the different products and services that we can give to budding creators. And without further ado, look, you got Sheen.
Oh, the clapping as well. Hello. So I'm not going to do my intro because you've already done it. Yeah, but we got loads of questions. Okay. Even the people didn't know apparently who you were.
But I think they saw the Instagram reel.
Yeah, you sold me out. You sold me out while I was trying to cover this. Okay, so the main question is, why me?
All right. So for me, I've always believed that you're the average of the people that you spend the most time with. So this is like my third attempt at building like a team. Well, no, in terms of building a team, it's like my fifth or sixth attempt. But in terms of like building a company, this is like my third attempt. And I've always believed in, the energy of people. I've always believed in, hiring people that have good energy, that are good at what they do, regardless of, the cultural fit. And I realized that when you do that, when you're building a team, you're building silos of people that are, might be great at what they do, but they're misaligned on the cultural element and what they want to do in the future. So then it's like you're trying to steer a ship where 5 different people want to go in different directions. Yeah. And for me, as someone trying to be a leader and trying to guide people towards a common vision, it's almost impossible. The ship starts to crumble, for lack of a better term. So for me, why you? Because number one, going back to the 5 people I spend, average of the people I spend the most time with, you were someone who, when I spent time with you, I felt like I am better as a person. I felt I was smarter. I felt I came away just more informed about a subject.
Thank you.
That's number one. Second of all, I think you're very, very smart. And for the work that I needed to be done and for the element of the company that I wanted to grow, I that you were the best person that could do it, because you understood what it took to get there. And I think I could just give it to you and you could just shine. And the third and probably the most important one is what I call to anyone out there is just the vibe check and the gut check. Yeah. Even when I'm sitting now with you, I'm a bit afraid because this is your YouTube video and you're kind of forcing. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. No, because when I'm chilling with you, whether it's work or not, I don't have that vibe or that gut feeling that this isn't supposed to. You're not supposed to be here. We're not supposed to be working together. I'm not supposed to be here. Whatever it is, I just feel it's right. And the gut check, 99% of the time, it's right.
Yeah.
Because when you get somewhere and you have that feeling in your stomach that this isn't supposed to be, I swear to you, that's Allah's way, God's way, whatever it is that you believe in, that's the universe's way of telling you it shouldn't be like this. But when I'm with you, I just feel it's a natural fit. And that when we talk, when we discuss things, we challenge each other, but we're all on the same page of getting where we need to get. So long story short, why you? Because when you're around, I'm better at what I do. And yeah, that's the only way to build a team that can elevate everything. So I know I rambled on a bit, but I think you deserve that, because it's been incredible working alongside you, and I'm excited for everything that you're building, and all of it's coming online, inshallah, Q1 next year.
Yeah.
Which I'm really excited about. She's been working super hard. She's someone I can bounce ideas off, whether it's within her stream of work or like creatively. Her being a YouTuber herself is a big advantage because, as someone who has YouTube as the foundation of what we're building, getting someone to understand what it is I'm talking about is difficult. So for you to have the background that you have in terms of like, going to the universities that you went to, working in consulting, but also understanding YouTube at a very deep level is like, it was like a gem to me. So it's an honor. I love Sheen. My family love her. Everyone in the company loves her. She does incredible work. She's an incredible human being. And, I hope that our time together does a lot of great things. But I also think nothing is forever. So for me, I also think as a leader of this company and as someone working alongside you, that when you move on to that next stage in your life, that you're better for it. Like this time here has helped you realize your dreams and prepared you for whatever it is that you're gonna do. Because I feel like that's the best way to be remembered. I hope that our journey together is beautiful, and I hope that whatever you do here is preparing you for whatever dreams that you have as Sheen and Associates or Sheen and Company or whatever it is that you want to do in the future. That your time here with me has prepared you for that.
That was beautiful. Nobody asked that question. I just wanted to know.
So I rambled on too much, man.
No,
I'm sorry.
Perfect.
Was there any other questions?
No, that was the main one. I think that should be all.
Oh, should I?
Yeah, can you please?
Anyway, thank you all so much. Hit the like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, support Sheen. She's lovely. God bless you all. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you, Khalid.
Yeah, anytime.
Hi, if you're new here, my name is Sheen. I am an Oxford and Cambridge graduate. I used to be a strategy consultant, and I am currently a COO of a media company. So let me tell you more about this. First of all, I would like to apologize. I know that this video has been long overdue and I kept teasing about it coming out. And we have a French saying which says "Qui remet à demain trouvera malheur en chemin," which means that if you keep postponing to do something the next day, you will end up finding bad luck on the way. And let me tell you, I found some bad luck on the way. And I was in a car accident, unfortunately, and I think you can see little scarring every here and there. I'm okay, thank God. I'm just a little bit bruised, but otherwise okay. So this has further delayed this video happening, but we're finally doing it. This is just me trying to get some sympathy. So please like and subscribe. Yeah, let's get into it. So my current job is as a Chief Operations Officer of a media company, which is shortened as COO of a company. And I work for Khalid who I think pretty much everyone knows him. He is an incredible human being, and I truly respect what he does. And he is very, very smart and just an overall great human being. I was very lucky to get to know him as a friend first, which I will tell you more about how we got to know each other and how we got into this arrangement where I'm now working for him. So I will cut this video into two parts. The first part will focus on how I got the job, and the second part will focus on the different skills that I got along the way that helped me be prepared to take on this new role. So what is a COO, first of all? A COO is someone who manages the day-to-day operations of a company and also just anything that the CEO wants them to take care of. So as a COO in my current company, my tasks include taking care of the team. So I manage the team directly. I make sure, that they are getting the support that they need to do the job that they want to do, and I do reviews, I do task assignments and reviews of tasks, all of these things. And then I also manage the day-to-day operations of the business, and that can be anything. And I'm also looking into finding new avenues of revenue for the company. So it's all very, very interesting, and I am learning to grow with it. It's a very new company that we're setting up and we're working on it. Everyone is so passionate. We're a nice little team where everybody is excelling at what they do, and we just try to work together towards this bigger goal. And so far so good. There are obviously loads of learning pains and even for me new challenges, things that I've not been exposed to before. But overall it's such a learning challenge that I absolutely love it. No 2 days are the same. Every day is different. Sometimes I'm going on a shoot. Sometimes I'm going to university with Khalid for a talk. Sometimes I'm working on finding a new business model for something. Sometimes I'm building a pitch. Sometimes I'm just working with the team. Sometimes we're brainstorming creative ideas. So it's all so different. And also because it's early days of a startup. So we're also wearing different hats, you know, sorting out the office space, sorting out the team, hiring, and just a lot of things going on, and it is incredible. I'm learning so much, and as I said, it's also not necessarily easy, but that's what I was looking for, right? I was looking for a challenge, and so far I'm really, really enjoying it. And if any of you is a COO and you want to give me any advice, please send it my way. I'm very willing to learn. Okay, so now story time in terms of how I got this job. So before I moved to Dubai, my YouTube channel was already live and it was already monetized in the UK. And then turns out that when you change countries, you can't just change your address on the monetization thing of YouTube. And you actually have to create a new account. And when I moved to Dubai, I thought, okay, it's just the same thing, I'll do it again. And then when I did that, the way that Google double checks whether you're real as a person or something, they send you a physical letter by mail, and then you get a pin in there, and that's how you confirm your identity and your monetization resumes. But unfortunately, for some reason in Dubai, normal post is not really delivered, and I think that's because they made a commitment to become paperless. So nothing really is sent by post unless it is registered with a courier service like FedEx or DHL. But Google doesn't do that. So then I kept waiting. It had been 3 months, and I think they've sent 3 letters at this point. Every month you can request for a new letter, and none of them were turning up. I even found a PO box, put a PO box number, they never came. So I thought, okay, who could help me in this situation? And me being me, I thought, you know what? Someone must have had a similar problem. So maybe let me just find the biggest influencer who is currently in Dubai, who has a big YouTube channel, and let me ask them, how did they sort it out? So then I thought of Khalid, and I just literally slid into the DM, sent him a message explaining my little issue and saying, could you help me, or how did you sort it out? And I don't know why I thought I would get a response because why would he respond? He gets so many messages every day. And he did not respond immediately. And during that time, after requesting for 4 letters, then they gave me the option of, you know, sending an email to support to explain my issue, and then they actually sorted it out through email. So then my monetization problem was solved in the meantime. And then I think about 3 months later, I get a reply from Khalid where he was like, I'm really sorry, I missed this message. Did you sort it out? And I was like, yeah, actually it's sorted. But now that you replied, we can be friends. And he was really nice. He invited me over to his house, and I met him in Salama, and we actually just bonded immediately, and we became friends. And after that, a few times we started hanging out, and it was just so nice of him to, you know, extend that hand of friendship. And since then, we started discussing a little bit about life. And, you know, at that time, I was at my peak of complaining about my job and not liking what I'm doing and feeling stuck. And he was very understanding. He was in a similar position a few years ago where he didn't like the job that he was doing and he wanted to become more of a creator. So we shared these little issues, and then I said, okay, you know, I'm actually thinking about starting coaching, business coaching on the side. And then he said, okay, well, I am thinking of starting a new company. I might need some business coaching. So why don't we do this? And I said, okay, you know, we're friends. We'll do this very informally, and let's just see how it goes. And I'll understand, you know, the pain points, and I'll try to help as much as possible. So through that avenue, we started working together every week, like I think a few hours a week, and just trying to bash out a few issues and sorting out a few problems together for the business. And then I guess through that, it was a way of us assessing each other and seeing whether we would be a good fit, whether, you know, I could bring in something to the business, and whether I am learning something as well along the way. And I guess it was a wonderful matching because at the end of the day, we both thought that, okay, this is going very well. And Khalid was so nice that he made me the offer. And he said he's looking for a COO if this is something that I would be interested in. And then we sat down and we discussed what that entails and, you know, the future of the company, who will be involved, and, you know, what is our vision for the company. And I was completely on board. Everything he said made sense. And of course, we discussed the nitty-gritty of things, and we both agreed on everything. So then it was kind of a match made in heaven, and we thought, okay, let's do it. And then I gave in my notice, and, you know, the rest is history. I think I've talked about me resigning a lot. So yeah, it's been about 3 months now since I've started working, and learning so much on a day-to-day basis. Absolutely incredible experience, and everything has been smooth so far, except for, you know, my little car accident, which has been a little dent both in my body and in the car, a bit of a big dent in the car. But we are here and loving it. So now I guess this had a bit of everything in terms of how I applied for it. So the main lessons, I guess, that you can take from this is, do not hesitate to reach out to people, whoever you think they are, even if they're the best in their field, they're at the top of their field, reach out, you know, because all these people are still people at the end of the day, and they were also part of this journey. They remember their days of reaching out, and if you have something to offer to them, they will take it. Why not? Everyone is trying to learn, everyone is trying to grow. So my first tip is to reach out. If there's someone that you would like to work with or someone you want to learn from, reach out to them. And you never know, they will respond, right? They might respond. The worst case scenario is they don't respond, but you don't lose out on anything. And the second thing is, before you ask for something that is paid, before you are asking for a job, always try to show what value and what worth you can add to their business, themselves, or whatever you're trying to contribute to. And this is what I did with the coaching. I offered, you know, like free coaching, let's see how it goes, because I'm also trying to learn how to become a coach. So then because of that, because I offered free value and I got free value in return, this led to both of us building something together. So therefore, always offer free value just to show your worth and also show how you can contribute, because people might be less willing to pay for something if they don't have anything to base themselves on. But if they have worked with you, if they've seen your work. So for example, I know a lot of my editors, for example, whenever people send me applications to edit for my videos, and if they send me a video that they've edited, like even if it's a video that's already edited on YouTube, and then they just take it down and they do a few tweaks to it, or they add something and they send it back to me saying, this is how I would have edited your video, I would consider this even if I didn't need an editor, because it's just that this person has shown me how they can add value. Similarly, if someone just sends me, I don't know, a new page for my website where they think these things would be helpful, different vlogs, and I'm like, okay, I see what value you can add without me having to now engage in a conversation and trying to figure out how we can work together. Without all this effort, I can see how you can add value. So second tip is always show how you can add value without expecting money in return. And the third thing is, if you're unhappy in something, try to find something that you're happy with. The reason it led me to this job, I was not necessarily at the time thinking, I don't want to be a consultant, I want to be a CEO of a media company. But I was definitely thinking, I do not like consulting. What do I not like about it, and what would actually make me happy? And then thinking about these things, I thought, okay, maybe I could start with business coaching, because that would be one way of making me less dependent on the salary of a full-time job, and then I could then find the time to find something else that would be better. So it was a stepping stone. I didn't necessarily go down that path, but it did open, you know, new avenues for me and opened a big door for me. So just having a very clear vision of what is not working out for me and what am I looking for, and just start, you know, and somehow something will happen. And now the second part that I mentioned many minutes ago of this video is what has made me suited to become a COO at this age. So obviously I studied science at university, and I did a PhD in science as well. But what was helpful for me from the PhD was all of the project management skills I got. I learned how to manage my own time. I learned how to manage resources. I learned how to make sure that different projects are running along the same timeline, just to make sure that, we're not wasting time in optimizing our use of time. And also through my PhD, I learned how to review work, other people's work, other literature, review it very quickly and pick out the important pieces of information that I need to know. And I learned how to present to big audiences. I was so lucky that during my PhD, I actually presented at, I think, 8 international conferences, and with varying groups of people from different ages, different countries, different fields. And I just got that confidence in terms of presenting to audiences. That doesn't faze me anymore, right? So that was very useful, especially as a CEO of a company. The second thing is my first job that I did after quitting university, which was being a program manager for Map the System at Oxford Business School. And this has been great because I learned so much about systems, building systems about everything, whether it is a very small task, even if it's, just give you a very silly example. Let's just say it's cooking. Cooking is not just the process of cooking, right? It is firstly thinking what you want to cook, and then making a list of all the things that you need, and then going to the shop and buying everything that you need, and then coming back and preparing all the ingredients that you need. And then you cook, and then after cooking, there are still things that needs to be done. You need to clear up, you need to take out the trash, you need to wash the dishes, and you need to put away leftovers if there are any. So all of this is the system around cooking. So similarly, in a business, whenever you have anything that's going on, even if it's just how the team works together, because the team that we have, they don't just work on one thing. They don't just, for example, just make videos, or even if they make videos, they don't just make one of them. There are several campaigns going on. So it's a lot of things going on, and there are different subsystems that exist in a company, and every person plays a role in each of these subsystems. And having a very clear idea of where everyone sits in each of these systems and how to optimize their time and make sure that there are no roadblocks is a very important skill to have. And I've gained that from being very in-depth in terms of mapping the system. And because of that, this is now something that I know very well how to do, how to think in terms of all the stakeholders that are involved in a particular task, and also all the resources that are needed, how to assign timelines to different systems that coexist. All of this have come from that job that I had. And then thirdly, of course, I was a strategy consultant. So as a strategy consultant, I learned everything that I need to know about business operations, right? And I've done, finding new avenues of making money, finding ways of saving cost. How do you hire? What do you look for in terms of intellectual skills when you're hiring? What do you look for in terms of soft skills? And all of this came from being a strategy consultant. I understood that. Furthermore, I also learned how to make decks of slides, and this has been very useful. I learned how to pitch as a strategy consultant. I learned how to review a deck, because even when we have investment opportunities or other people send us their decks, we need to know what to look for and how to assess whether this is a good piece of work or not really. And all of this comes from me having looked at thousands and thousands of decks within my 1 year. And now when it comes to pitching as well, we need to know how to pitch, how to sell. And all of this, I've done so many proposals as a consultant to sell our services to clients. So I know as well how to sell and what are the things that we need to highlight, what are the things that the client wants to see, and what are the things that, should be left to be discussed later. So all of these things come from being a consultant. And also, I don't know how many of you remember this, but during COVID, with some friends of mine, we set up this not-for-profit company, which was kind of a consulting company where we were bringing in all students from around the world who were interested in doing consulting. And we were finding NGOs and startups and small and medium enterprises that could not afford big consulting companies, and we were matching these together. So basically, we were supporting the students to get real life experiences as to what consulting means, but at the same time, we were providing a free service to these companies that were struggling because of COVID, but could not afford real consultants. So it was all a kind of like a win-win situation and a learning process for both sides. And that was an incredible experience, like setting up a business from nothing during COVID, where we were all in different countries. And that has taught me so much in terms of team management, because we had, at some point, I think we had more than 150 consultants onboarded, and having to manage all of them, making sure that they are assigned to the right project, which is something that they're interested in, is something that fits their skills, is something that fits what they want to learn, and then making sure that they are now delivering and that the client is happy. And imagine, this is not one project. We were handling so many projects at the same time, and even having a tracker where we know how far along each project is, having, just talking to the client to make sure they're happy, and whether they think the consultants are working, having a chat with the consultants, making sure the client is not being too hard on them. It was incredible. And we did this all, obviously it was COVID, so I had just finished my PhD, so I didn't have anything else going on. So I managed to give it all of my time, and that meant that it was super successful. It was completely like a full circle kind of experience when I joined my company as a consultant. And one of the other consultants who joined, he was like, oh, I used to be a consultant for Reshape. And I was like, oh, and this is what they use as, on their CV. This is how they got their consulting experience. And that's what led them to having a job. And I thought that this was incredible. We managed to do this. But for me, biggest learning from that was obviously setting up a new company, but also it was the team management, because I had to manage a lot of different kinds of people who were working in the company. And finally, of course, I am also a content creator, which means that I know all the pain points, all the challenges, but also all the exciting aspects of creating content. And as a COO of a media company, where one big chunk of what we do is still Khalid's social media, and that includes both his Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everything. Of course, it's all him, but also understanding, how it works, because I know all the back-end stuff. I know the whole process from ideation to publishing, how it works. So that also meant that I went in as a COO who knew what the field is like. So I've been in the field as well for a few years now, and I can problem solve, and I can also assist whenever it comes to, brainstorming ideas, or even just if something goes wrong, how do we fix it? So there we go. I think all of this has made me ready to take on the role of a COO. But of course, as I said, it's a learning curve. I am just here to learn as much as possible and enjoy it as I learn. And hopefully I will take you on the journey with me. I knew you had a lot of questions, but I hope I have answered it all. I'm staying in Dubai. I'm now working as a CEO of a media company. I work for Khalid Al-Ameri. I think these were the main questions. I've told you how I got the job, and I've told you what led me to being suited for the job. So hopefully in the next video, we'll have a bit more of Khalid, but he's a very, very busy man. But anyway, until then, thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.